In typical two-joystick games, one joystick, the left joystick, is used to move your player around and move him forward, backwards, and laterally by moving the joystick in each direction. Then the right joystick is used to turn your camera to look each direction, up, down, left, and right in a game. Two joystick games can get a little bit tricky with the quad stick because the quad stick only has one joystick that the user controls with mouth and neck movements. Therefore, we need to program tricks to allow us to map two joysticks onto a one joystick controller. When you're playing a game like a first-person shooter game in which the left stick is used for movement, you actually don't need all directions of the left joystick. By making it so the left joystick is held forward and your player starts to walk forward, you can use the right joystick to turn left and right. This is because the right joystick turns your camera left and right, and as your player moves his head left and right to turn the camera, he can also turn left and right in the game. Therefore, you don't need the left and right directions on the left joystick to turn in a game, as long as you're holding the left joystick forward. Therefore, what we can do on the quad stick is we can program one of the inputs on the quad stick to toggle on left joystick forward. Therefore, when I blow into a certain input on the quad stick, say left and center blow, it will hold down the left joystick forward and my player will begin to walk forward automatically without me having to hold an input on the quad stick since it is set to toggle. Then, by setting the joystick on the quad stick as the right joystick in the game, by turning the joystick left and right, my player can turn left and right in the game by turning its head left and right using this joystick on the quad stick. Therefore, I can get all movements that I need to play a two-joystick game using the single joystick on the quad stick. The only movement we don't get using this method is backwards, but that can be added as well using a toggle command. I'm going to show a video next of me playing Fortnite using this method and explaining how toggle can be used on the left joystick to map a two-joystick game like Fortnite onto a one-joystick controller like the quad stick. Two-joystick games can get tricky with the quad stick as they require both joysticks, but the quad stick only has one joystick. So for example, in a first-person shooter game, you need the left joystick to move your player typically, and then the right joystick moves your camera so your player can look around. However, you actually don't need both joysticks to play. By programming the quad stick so a specific input, say the left and center blow, toggles forward or holds forward the left joystick on the controller, and the joystick on the quad stick programmed as the right joystick on the controller, you can use these two controls together to allow using one joystick on the quad stick to play a two-joystick game. So when I input the left and center blow on the quad stick, it will hold the left joystick forward, so my player will automatically start walking forward. And then by moving the right joystick, which is the joystick on the quad stick, by changing my vision, I can actually turn and do all the functions I need to play a two-joystick game like a first-person shooter game. So that's how with the quad stick, which is a one-joystick controller, you can play two-joystick first-person shooter games. Now I'm going to show an example of how this would be programmed on a quad stick spreadsheet so that a two-joystick game like Fortnite can be played using the quad stick controller. Here, as you can see in the spreadsheet, I have the left joystick up direction programmed to toggle on when I do a left and center blow in the game. Therefore, when I do a left and center blow, it will hold the left joystick forward and my player will start to walk forward. Then I have the left, right, up, and down on the joystick of the quad stick programmed to control the right joystick in the game. Therefore, that will control my player's camera so he can look around, and that enables me to turn left and right by turning my camera left and right in the game. However, I still do need to be able to access the left joystick at certain times in the game, especially when I'm navigating certain menus. Therefore, I need to make sure I make use of all of the pages of my Quadstick profile so that I can have a separate page dedicated so the left joystick can be controlled by the joystick on the Quadstick. So on my first small profile, or my first page of my spreadsheet, I have the left joystick mapped to the joystick on the Quadstick. So I'm still able to navigate menu screens when they pop up. I can just simply switch to the first small profile on my first-person shooter profile. Then, when I'm in the game and I'm playing as my player and wanting to move around, I switch into my second page of my spreadsheet using the sip and puff or the side tube on the Quadstick, and then that will enable me to use the toggle left joystick forward function and then remap the joystick on the Quadstick to the right joystick in the game. Then I'm able to play the two joystick game using the one joystick on the Quadstick.